Hello and welcome to the Profitable Baker podcast, the show for bakers who mean business. I'm Annie Bennett, founder of the Home Baking Business Academy, and every week I'll be sharing practical lessons, mindset shifts, and inspiring stories from bakers who are building businesses they love. Because success in this industry isn't about who bakes the fanciest cakes, it's about who builds the strongest business foundations. Let's get started. Hello and welcome back to the Profitable Baker podcast with me, Annie Bennett. Today, we're talking about something that can sound very business textbook on the surface, but in reality, it's one of the most important aspects of your business, and I am always banging on about it, and that is knowing your ideal client. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, oh, I've heard this before, stay with me, because this isn't about inventing a fictional woman called Sarah who drinks oat milk and does yoga on Thursdays. No, this is about making your business easier to run, making it more profitable and making it less draining. Honestly, stick with me. Trust me on this one. Because when you don't know who your business is really for, everything can feel a lot harder. Now, why does this actually matter? Well, most bakers skip this step and they try to appeal to everybody. And at the beginning, that's completely understandable. I did that too. I didn't want to know about ideal clients because my thoughts were, well, I'm just going to sell to anyone, everyone. I didn't want to restrict my income by only selling to certain people. But it's not about who you sell to. You can sell to who you like. It's about who you appeal to. And those are two very different things. So over time, if you don't get clear about who your business is really for, something subtle starts to happen. You get orders, but perhaps not consistent ones. You get customers, but not necessarily loyalty. And you start to feel like you're constantly bending yourself to suit other people, changing the way you do things to suit that customer and then changing them again to suit the other customer and then making another little tweak to serve that customer. It's exhausting. When you're clear on your ideal client, decisions become much easier. Marketing becomes easier. Boundaries become easier. And clarity reduces the chaos. And a lot of what bakers describe as overwhelm, actually, what you're talking about is just a lack of clarity. You're not being clear about what you do and what you're doing it for. So, what does ideal client actually mean? Let's make this simple. It's not the person with the biggest budget. It's not the person who orders the largest cake. And it's not the person who flatters you the most, although that's tempting. Your ideal client is the person who values what you do. They respect your process, they fit your style, and they are profitable for your business. And this makes the experience feel straightforward rather than stressful. If a customer makes you dread opening your inbox, I've had a few of those, they are not ideal, even if they pay well. Your ideal client aligns with your pricing structure, your systems, your boundaries, your capacity, and your energy. Your ideal client looks at what you are offering and says, yes, that is exactly what I'm looking for. Now, I'm going to tell you a little story, and bear with me on this one, because it's not about cake, it's about cars. But hopefully you'll get what I'm on about. So I have had over my car owning life a few Ford Focuses. Is it Focuses? Foci. A few Ford Focuses. And with each of them, weirdly, not with any other car I've ever bought, but with each of the Ford Focuses, you know the rubber trim that goes around the door? That's like peeled off on the bottom. So I'd always end up having a little bit of rubber trim poking out the door when I shut the door. And I could never find a glue that would fix it. So I got fed up with this and I went online. And what I was looking for was glue that will fix rubber trim on the inside of a car. That's what I was looking for. Now, I could have paid, I don't know, the lowest price, let's say £2 for a tube of glue that said it fixes anything. Okay. I could have paid, let's say, £5 for glue that says hard wearing glue will stick anything to anything suitable for cars. Okay, that's getting nearer the mark. But what I really wanted to see was this glue will fix the rubber trim on the inside of your car door. And had that been costed at £10, £15, £20 even, I would have paid for it because that is exactly what I wanted. I wanted to get the job done and I didn't want to have to think about it anymore. Now, the risk is with the £2 glue, yeah, it says it sticks anything, but does it? I fell in that trap quite a few times, getting the cheaper glue, didn't come anywhere near sticking it. So what I'm saying is, you think of your customer looking at your website, your socials, whatever it is, and not only through your pictures and your products, but through your messaging and your problem solving that we'll come on to in a second, they will say, that is exactly what I want. That will exactly solve my problem, and I'm willing to pay to have it all sorted. So let's talk about this problem. I'm always talking about problems that we solve. And people say, oh, people that buy cake don't have problems. Yes, they do. Okay. This is something that your ideal clients have in common. It's not their age, it's not their budget, it's not necessarily even the type of cake they order. It's that they share the same problem. Your ideal client is connected by the problem you solve. For example, busy parents ordering birthday cakes it's not just the cake they want one less thing to worry about. They're organising their birthday party, they're trying to buy presents, they're trying to sort out venues, they're trying to sort out entertainment, even if it's a home, they're trying to sort out the food, all that kind of stuff. They want one less thing to worry about. Brides ordering wedding cakes, because it usually is the bride, although I should say couples really, shouldn't I? Ordering wedding cake, they don't just want the cake, the tears. They want reassurance that all the details will be handled beautifully, professionally, and they're going to have a cake that everyone goes wow at when they arrive at their wedding. Cafe owners don't just want your brownies or your cakes or your tray bakes. They want consistency, they want reliability, and they want margin. The cake is the product, but the solution is the value that you offer. What you offer that will put people's mind at rest, that is worth money. So if you're struggling to define your ideal client, flip the question. Instead of asking, who do I want to sell to? Think, what problem do I solve really well? And then who consistently has that problem? Because problems create demand. And when someone reads your content, looks at your website and thinks, that's exactly what I need, obviously then selling becomes easier. You're not persuading, you're not doing the salesy tactics. What you're doing is you're aligning and you're making your client, your ideal client, feel seen and heard. Now, if you try and solve 10 different problems all at once, your messaging then becomes diluted. If you become known for solving one type of problem exceptionally well, you become easier to choose. You're not just choosing a client, you're choosing the problem your business exists to solve. Now, let's think about mistakes. I see mistakes all the time, and these were mistakes that I made when I first started up. A baker says, I'll just see who comes. I don't want to limit myself. I'll be open to anyone and I'll make myself accessible to anyone, and then no one will be turned away and I'll sell to everybody. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like that, because when you try and serve everyone, your messaging just becomes vague. If all your social media is just, here's my cake, do you want to buy it? Then what you're not doing is solving any problem. What you need to do is say, well, if you buy from me, this is the problem that gets solved. Vague businesses attract vague customers. If your marketing says, I can do anything, You'll attract people that say, oh, can you just do this? Or could you maybe do that? Or could you tweak that? Oh, yeah, I want that, but I want it this, that, and the other. And I know it's short notice, but I'm sure we've all experienced that. But if your marketing says, I specialize in this, I focus on this, and I'm known for this. I see this a lot with wedding cakes, particularly. When I was doing my wedding cakes, my style was white, multi-tiered sugar flowers. That's what I had a lot on my social media. And that is what people that wanted, or couples that wanted white, three-tiered, four-tiered with sugar flowers, they would look at my work and go, yes, that's exactly what I want. If you try and appeal to everyone, and I've seen wedding fair setups where a baker has done a goth cake, a naked cake, a boho cake, an elegant cake, an art deco cake, and tried to do all the different styles. The trouble is they're trying to appeal to everybody. They're not showing that they are exactly who they want. Choose a style that you love to do, and the people that love that style, the customers that love that style, will come to you. So, questions to ask to define your ideal client. Let's make it practical. Instead of creating a fictional profile, you ask yourself, who do I actually enjoy baking for? Which orders leave you feeling satisfied at the end of the week? What's the feedback that you get from your customers that makes you think, yes, this is brilliant, I'm in the right job? Which orders feel straightforward? Which orders fit neatly into your workflow? Then you ask, which of those orders are consistently profitable? Those are not necessarily the most impressive or the biggest, but they're the ones that fit your schedule, that use ingredients efficiently, that don't require endless messaging, and they stay within your defined working hours. Profit plus predictability is powerful. And the next step is then to ask, who respects my process? Who books in advance? Who accepts my pricing without negotiation? Who follows collection times? Who doesn't request 5 redesigns in the 3 days before the event? You see, that isn't luck that you've arrived at that. If none of that happens to you, that's not necessarily luck. It's because you have attracted the right ideal client for how you work. Your ideal client often already exists in your order history, but you just haven't consciously chosen them yet. So, how this changes your marketing. When you know who you're for and what problem you solve, your marketing becomes much clearer. In fact, everything becomes much clearer. So, instead of posting, here's a cake, do you want to buy it? You post, this is perfect for busy parents who want a completely stress-free birthday solution. There you go, you're solving the problem. Instead of DM me for prices, I can't bear DM me to order, can't bear it. But anyway, instead of saying message me for prices, you say, my celebration cakes start at so many pounds and are designed for families who want everything handled smoothly from booking to collection. That subtle shift filters inquiries before they reach your inbox. And that filtering isn't rude. What that filtering does is it protects your time. It means that you get fewer inquiries that don't fit. It means that you get more inquiries that do. And that is the goal. You're not looking for maximum volume. You are looking for maximum fit. Now, there is a fear about narrowing down. Oh, I don't want to just appeal to one person because I'm limiting my options. And this is where people get nervous. What if I lose work? But here's what actually happens when you narrow your focus. You become easier to recommend. You become easier to remember, and you become easier to trust. If someone says, do you know anyone reliable who makes elegant wedding cakes? Then your name is consistently associated with that. And that is positioning. I'll do another episode specifically on positioning, because that's a rabbit hole we haven't got time to go down today. But if your brand says you do a bit of everything for everyone, you're harder to place. People can't work out where you are. Clarity increases referrals, and referrals are the most cost-effective marketing that you will ever have. So let's talk a bit about boundaries. Your ideal client also supports your boundaries. They accept your cut-off times, they understand your minimum order, they respect your working hours, and they don't expect midnight replies. If you feel regularly pressured or rushed, it's not because you're incapable at all. It's because you're attracting clients who don't fit your structure, who don't respect your boundaries. So, and instead of tightening your system, you loosen them, which creates more chaos. The minute you just make an exception for one client, you have to then make an exception for another client. And then again, you're down the exception rabbit hole there, aren't you? The calmer your systems become, the clearer your client needs to be. And that's not exclusion, it's design, it's a choice on your part. So let's finish with something practical for you. Look at your last 10 orders. If you're new to baking, I'll come on to you in a second. But if you're experienced and you've been up and running for a while, look at your last 10 orders. Ask yourself, which 3 of those would I most happily repeat every week? Which 3 were the most profitable per hour? Which 3 felt smooth and straightforward? Which clients respected my process? And you will find patterns. Your ideal client is very probably already in there, but you have got to recognize that those are the clients you want to be appealing to. And if you're just setting up in business and you haven't had any orders yet, what you've got to think is, what are my strengths? What do I want my business to stand for? What do I want people to think about when my business name is mentioned? So do you want people to go, oh yes, Annie, she's the something or other baker. She's the one who does, insert here. What is that you want to be known for? Because if you can work that out, you can then work out what your messaging is online. And by messaging, I mean, what are you talking about? What value are you giving? What advice are you giving? What engagement are you offering with them? So think about who it is you want to be buying your products. Aim your messaging at people that you want to work with. And there are plenty of them. Trust me, there are plenty of them. So, final thought, your ideal client, it's not being about exclusive. It's not about turning people away. You are not turning people away. Or you might eventually, once you get experience, you might find that you are turning people away. But it's not about that. It's about being intentional. You choose who your business is for. You look at the problem or the few problems that you solve. That way, your messaging sharpens, your confidence increases because you find that people are attracted to that and will make inquiries based on that. And then your boundaries strengthen. And because of all that, your stress reduces. Clarity creates calm. And calm businesses are far more sustainable than chaotic ones. So if this episode resonated with you, take a few minutes today and review your last few orders. The answers to this ideal client question are probably closer than you think. And if you want structured support, refining your positioning, your pricing, your systems around the right clients, and we don't just mean more clients, we mean the right ones and repeat ones, because your ideal clients are likely to be repeat clients as well. Have a look at what the Home Baking Business Academy membership can offer you, and details are in the show notes. Thank you so much for listening today. I hope this has been useful for you. Do let me know on my socials. I'll post out a few social posts about the podcast. Do let me know what you think. And if you're on my email list, do email me and tell me what you think. And if you want to join the email list, the link is in the show notes. So thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time.